The Office of the Prime Minister Press Office is the primary liaison between the Fourth Estate and the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live weekly press briefings provide full access to current newsmakers on the most topical issues of the day. We facilitate prompt responses from cabinet ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied against the
OPM Press Now, keeping you in the know.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. We are excited to have you here. We have a very informative and engaging agenda for you this morning. So I'm going to now introduce to you our Acting Press Secretary, Keishla Adderley.
Thank you very much, Natalia. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day so far. Well, this morning we will take a look at two important drivers of the Bahamian economy. They are tourism and small business development. Now, as you know, just this week, everyone was celebrating a big accomplishment for the Bahamas, as at the end of September, we marked a record 7.2 million tourist arrivals into the Bahamas. That's good news for everyone, including the hotel industry. And this morning, we're pleased to be joined by Bahamas Hotel Tourism Association President, Mr. Robert Sandy Sands, who will tell us about the health of the hotel industry, what it's experienced this year, and what some of the prospects are for the year ahead. We're also happy to be joined by Ms. Samantha Roll, who is the Executive Director of the Small Business Development Center. Now, the center, since it's been established, has distributed some $81 million in funding towards small business development in the Bahamas. So Ms. Roll will be sharing with us this morning what some of the funding opportunities will be for new would-be business persons, and also what the year ahead holds for the Development Center. But without further ado, I'll welcome Mr. Robert Sandy Sands on the Hotel Association.
Good morning, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me. I wanted to take an approach this morning that I wanted to answer more questions than to tell you what I think you already know. But I also want to be on the record of elaborating on the country's 2023 tourism performance as outlined by the Honorable Chester Cooper, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism. I think it is fitting to note that with the ministry's lead, the support of industry partners, which are major hotel brands, the various promotion boards, and all the other affected parties have all contributed to this very significant success. The reality is that we're coming from a point of zero business as a result of COVID to this record-breaking situation that we're in today. To deal with some of the numbers, the 7.2 million visitors to date, September, was represented in principle by close to 5.8 million in cruise visitors to the destination, some 81.5% of the total arrivals. This number is very good for us, but I think it also creates significant opportunities for the destination. When we look at stopover visitors to date, which is lagging slightly behind our 2019 numbers at 1,300,000 and representing 18.5%, that also creates opportunities for us. So let me first deal with the opportunities that accrue as a direct result of the cruise passengers. It would be very good if we can work on increasing the conversion of a percentage of these cruise passengers to stopover visitors, whereby giving us a much better mix of cruise and stopover visitors, which should really be in the area 30 to 70%. It would also give us the opportunity to increase spend. When we look at the spend of a cruise passenger versus the spend of a stopover visitor. For example, this year, a cruise passenger is spending approximately $85. A stopover visitor is spending close to $2,700. So the conversion of 5 to 10% of those individuals, even if they went over to stopover, would have an incremental and positive impact on revenues for the country. The second thing that this creates an opportunity for us is that with this large amount of individuals coming to our shores, we have to work to ensure that visitor dissatisfaction is decreased and visitor satisfaction is increased. And this is extremely important because the more persons that visit the islands of the Bahamas, and with the advent of social media, guest satisfaction, negative guest satisfaction travels much quicker than positive guest satisfaction. So we have to work very diligently to ensure that satisfaction levels are increased. Thirdly, we have to continue to work towards ensuring, certainly in the hotel stopover sector, that elements of workforce development and training issues are there at the top of the line in terms of an approach for the various industries. Labor tends to be a significant issue in terms of getting the right type of talent to work in the hospitality business, in light of the fact that entrepreneurial opportunities have also escalated significantly, and therefore most persons tend to want their own businesses, which is good, which puts a strain on the ability to have a cadre of talent on an ongoing business for the hospitality sector. Airlift drives hotel occupancy, and where we have seen growth, certainly in the Family Islands and growth in New Providence, is a direct result of airlift. So this is something that we have to continue to work on. The introduction of direct flights from Los Angeles to New Providence will open up a whole new market for this country, and also creates a gateway for multiple amounts of persons to visit the islands of the Bahamas. This airlift also is extremely important, not only from international destinations to direct family destinations, but also being able to have connectivity between New Providence and the Family Islands, so that vacationers do not lose significant time of their vacation time trying to connect with flights to the various Family Islands. This opportunity of 7,200,000 also creates a significant opportunity for entrepreneurs in terms of our ability to reduce imports and try and consume more of what we produce locally, so that the impact of the foreign exchange earned goes a much greater distance. The Bahamas is at somewhat of a disadvantage with some of our Caribbean partners, whereby they've learned about our success of tourism, but also diversified their economies to be both in agriculture, industry, and tourism. And therefore, their costs are much better than the costs that we have here in New Providence. And that is going to have to be an opportunity that we work on, because we cannot continue to be perceived as an expensive destination, but perceived more of a destination that offers value for money going forward. So the numbers do create these tremendous opportunities for the sustainability of our tourism industry going forward. When we look at our regional positioning, we are definitely the leader in cruise visitors. We have over 35 to 40% market share of all cruise visitors to the Caribbean. Our biggest opportunity lies in increasing our stopover visitors, and that has been hampered most directly by a reduction in available hotel rooms, some 25% of our inventory down as a result of a number of reasons. We are aware of Malia, we are aware of hotels in Grand Bahama, Paradise Island. Fortunately, we have British Colonial coming online in December of this year, which will bring an additional 350 rooms to inventory. But the thrust to have more hotel rooms available will augur well for each much greater stopover arrivals to the destination and a much more financially successful result as a result of spend of those individual persons coming to the Bahamas. I'll pause here, and if I may, any questions that you may have specifically for me?
Yes, I have a question about the conversion of cruise passengers. What does that look like? What is that? What plan is in place to do that conversion? What have we done in the past? What are we planning in the future?
Well, you know, conversion happens as a result of multiple issues: engagement, visitor satisfaction in the destination, guest experiences in the various ports of entry. And as these improve, so does the conversion elements. Also, direct contacts through marketing efforts by various brands that exist throughout the island. Right now, I think that the numbers are extremely small, but even a 5% conversion, which would result in, even at the numbers that we're getting now, 500,000 additional stopover visitors, would make a significant change to the stopover landscape in the islands of the Bahamas.
With stopover visitors trailing in terms of the overall numbers, does it look like it'll reach its own record by the end of the year?
Based on the numbers that I see, we can come very close. There's no question in my mind that we will achieve those numbers certainly in 2024. The one impediment to us achieving this result is that we're working with 25% less inventory, which one cannot ignore. So the hotels that are currently operating have achieved significant increases in their occupancy levels as well as in their average rates. We would have seen occupancy levels increase by anywhere from 10 to 15% for the period to date. But you can't get over a particular threshold if you do not have the number of inventory of rooms available. Now, the unknown and a segment that is doing very well, and we continue to encourage them, is the Airbnb segment, which obviously the government is looking at to see how they can be registered and have a better handle on their impact on the economy. But certainly between that sector and the stopover sector, to have achieved 1.3 million, which is almost maybe 10,000 off the number for 2019, I think is commendable with reduced inventory.
You mentioned the loss of Melia, the Melia Nassau Beach Resort. Are you able to say what the plan is for that space? I know a statement from Bahama indicated that there is a plan for something significant to go there. Are you able to say what that may look like or where we are on the road to that plan?
But I can say that Bahama is in negotiations and discussions with the government of the Bahamas, and as such as those plans are finalized, I think there will be a joint announcement as to what in fact will happen there. I think those discussions are at a very advanced stage, and we are hopeful that an announcement can be made as soon as they have been concretized.
Well, right now we're basically preparing to head into the holiday season, obviously a big push for tourism. Any, I guess, key plans from the hotel sector to do anything different, or they just kind of continue, I guess, doing what they have been doing to draw in even more persons to finish the year strong?
Well, you know, the Bahamas brand has great equity in the marketplace. And there's an old adage, if it ain't break, don't fix it. Obviously, festive is a very high occupancy time for many of the large hotels in New Providence and some of the medium-sized hotels. You would be aware that a lot of special events will take place prior to, certainly over Thanksgiving as a lead up to festive. You have Battle for Atlantis, you have Bahama Hoops, a lot of sports tourism elements that are filling in the gaps. So to answer your question directly, I think it'll be a tweaking as what has been successful in the past that will continue to drive the business for us over festive. I think the one element that is going to be different in 2024 is that with additional capacity, the MICE market, which is meetings, incentives, conferences, and expositions, continues to grow. So you're going to be seeing much more of that business in 2024. You're also going to be seeing, I think, more collaboration in terms of special events that are taking place throughout various hotels and islands that's going to drive incremental business. You're seeing much more diverse entertainment also that's also driving business. There's no question that the cruise port opening and functioning is also driving that segment of the business. So I think the Bahamas is on a very good wicket. We've been very fortunate that we have so far been spared the wrath of any hurricanes this particular year. That is very good for our sectors. And as the government continues to push new inventory, I think that is the way in which we're going to drive incremental business for the future. The adage that tourism is everyone's business, I think, is extremely important at this point in time, because as we grow these numbers, tourists are touching more and more individual Bahamians and how we interact with them and how their experiences are felt, and their ability to recommend a destination will go a long way in ensuring that we continue to be a sustainable tourism industry for the future.
Last year, you expressed some concern about the cost of doing business in the Bahamas, and you pointed to, I guess, some specific areas: power costs, cost of labor, and crime. I know now, as we move to the fall and winter, the cost of electricity is declining, but is that still a concern for the association and some of the major hotels in terms of the cost of labor, crime, and maybe even the cost of electricity?
Yes, in terms of electricity, the position has not changed dramatically. Reliable, consistent, cost-effective pricing in terms of electricity remains a significant challenge, particularly for hotels within the Family Islands. You would be aware, or may not be aware, that many hotels latching onto the governing initiative to review, go towards renewable energy, different forms of electricity that will bring down the costs. Electricity is the second largest expense for most operations. This year was certainly an anomaly where many properties may have been hit with increases that represent 100% increases in their electricity costs as a minimum. We have to see the rates are coming down slowly. They have not increased this month, so we have to see what happens by the end of the year. So from that perspective, yes. Cost of doing business is always a major concern, because there's only so much you can charge a visitor in a particular destination, and I think that's an opportunity that we have to work on, but it's a collective bag. We have to look at cost of food, cost of imports, costs of goods and services, et cetera. And certainly that's where the entrepreneurial Bahamian, I think, comes into play, where they may be able to impact on helping to reduce some of these costs. Because at the end of the day, unless the visitor perceives the vacation stay as being value for money, we're not going to see the levels of growth that we're going to see in the future. So that is one of the opportunities that I also spoke to. Yes, crime remains paramount in the minds of everybody, but not only the hotel sector, but all Bahamians, I think, are concerned about safety. Safety is one of the principal reasons why persons come to this country, and we have to continue to support the armed forces and continue to do individual work in that area. to ensure that our visitors feel and residents feel safe.
Mr. Sanders, you mentioned entertainment briefly. How important is it for the Orange economy and culture in strengthening the tourism product?
Well, I think you would see over the last couple of years that culture has been infused into the psyche of hotel operations, and not in the single dynamic of only, should I say, music. It has been infused in art form. It's been infused in terms of food-type presentations. It's been infused in terms of more and more hotels are using local entrepreneurs in terms of how they outfit their staff with local uniforms. The inclusion certainly of artisans from different craft, brothers, jewelry, straw work. It's been infused into a number of the properties. Still a lot of work to be done, but certainly culture is a significant part now of why people feel that the offering of the Bahamas is being elevated. The quality and quantity of artwork throughout the country also creates a business opportunity for artisans to now feel empowered, and also in terms of the work they do. And I think that we're going to see more and more of that as we become an even more mature tourism sector.
I don't think I've written more about airlift in my career. Is it where you want it to be at the moment? Is there still more that needs to be done? I know the Family Islands is a different story.
You can never be satisfied with to say that we have enough airlift, because that is the basis under which we get heads and beds. Without them, we're not going to be able to grow our tourism sector. But you know, that's a chicken and egg situation. You must also have the rooms to be able to accommodate those individual persons that come to the Bahamas. So I think we are ahead of the game in terms of the total amount of seats versus the supply that we have available, which is a very good thing. I think what you're also beginning to see is diversifications by opening up new markets so that we're not fishing from the same pond. They're not all coming from New York, they're not all coming from Atlanta, they're not all coming from, say, through Florida. We're getting some diversified gateways, which spreads the risk and also creates the opportunity, for, like I say, to open up new markets far in the field, come to the islands of the Bahamas. So airlift continues to be a major thrust. Obviously, the issue with airlift to the Bahamas is we tend to be a little bit more pricey than some of our fellow islands in the Caribbean. But that is also a direct relationship that most of them are either states of major continents or still colonies, and they have the beneficiaries of their own national airlines that can drive business. They also are the beneficiaries of bigger VFR market, visitor friends and relatives. A lot of populations from the diaspora live abroad and tend to visit a lot of these islands on holiday. Bahamians don't tend to migrate in those types of numbers, so that's a market that we have not been able to grow effectively. But yes, airlift remains a pivotal part to the success and growth of tourism. And I think hand in hand with that is that the government's commitment to develop airports throughout the Family Islands is also very significant. That ties into the ability to drive more bodies to these Family Islands. Without good, proper airports, flights will not land. So this is a tanker that we're beginning to turn slowly, but I think we're beginning to see the successes of increased airlift, increased flights into Family Islands, improved airports that can accommodate much more guests, and all of that will all go well, certainly for improved stopover visitors to the islands of the Bahamas.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. We'll turn things over now to Ms. Samantha Roll, Executive Director of the Small Business Development Center, the gains that they have made over the last year, and what the new year could hold for persons wanting to get into business. Ms. Roll?
Thank you, Kishla. Pleasant good afternoon, guests and members of the press. Today, we are delighted to share some remarkable developments and initiatives that have the potential to significantly impact the entrepreneurial landscape in the Bahamas. We recognize the importance of highlighting these accomplishments and our vision for the future, focusing on the key role played by the Small Business Development Center, which is all timely as we celebrate for the second consecutive year National Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises MSME Month, this month, November 2023. Before we delve into the details of these exciting programs, let's reflect on the incredible journey of SBDC. Over the past 5 years, SBDC has not only weathered challenges, but thrived. This is a testament to our firm commitment to entrepreneurship. For decades, Bahamian entrepreneurs embarked on their journey, seeking guidance, mentorship, and belief. In 2018, SBDC emerged as the torchbearer for these dreamers. One such story of resilience and transformation is that of Trevor Williams, who, amid the pandemic's peak, reinvented himself with Out Island Water Company on San Salvador. He didn't just find financial support at SBDC, he discovered a mentor, a partner, a believer in his dream. However, Trevor's journey is just one of the many success stories that SBDC has been part of. Over 5 remarkable years, dreams have transformed into businesses, businesses into institutions, and entrepreneurs into community pillars. So SBDC's matrix over the years narrate its own tale of our success. From a modest beginning in 2018 to the gigantic strides we have recently taken. Our journey as a business support organization has been nothing short of phenomenal. Through our flagship guaranteed loan program and numerous grant initiatives and programs, the SBDC has funded over 2,100 dreams, investing more than $81 million in funding. Back in February of 2022, there were 38 guaranteed loan program approvals, representing a total of $5.7 million in funding. Presently, over the past 18 months to date, there are now 82 total guaranteed loan program approvals, representing about $13.1 million in funding, doubling what was done in SBDC's first 3 years in operations. These numbers aren't just metrics on a balance sheet, they are a testament to the dreams realized across various sectors throughout our archipelago. It's essential to emphasize that SBDC's impact extends beyond mere financial support. While it's often associated with funding, our vision transcends monetary assistance. We take pride in offering invaluable services through mentorship and training programs, assisting thousands of Bahamians, many of whom didn't require funding, but sought guidance and expertise to grow their businesses. One of the driving forces behind our success has been our strategic partnerships. Over the past 18 months, our partnership ecosystem has expanded beyond our most optimistic projections. From early on, SBDC have collaborated with esteemed institutions like the Bahamas Entrepreneurial Venture Fund, Fidelity Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Over the past 18 months, we have onboarded and signed Memorandum of Understandings with the National Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Teachers and Salaried Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Simplified Lending, Commonwealth Bank, and Bank of the Bahamas, all partners of our guaranteed loan program. Other strategic partners include Grand Bahama Power Company, Bahamas Power and Light, the Bahamas Trade Commission, the Inter-American Development Bank, and our renewed partnership with the U.S. Embassy, and many others. building bridges across sectors to ensure that entrepreneurs have the support and resources they need to thrive. Now, let's delve into some of the new initiatives that will continue to shape our path forward. Our Electric Mobility Initiative. Under the Guaranteed Loan Program, the SBDC launched the Electric Mobility Initiative on September 26, 2023, in collaboration with Easy Car Sales, to achieve 6 objectives, including training to inform entrepreneurs about the functionality, affordability, and availability of electric vehicles, facilitate hands-on training courses for aspiring technicians and mechanics interested in the maintenance and repair services for electric vehicles, and provide access to loan and grant funding to cover the cost of an electric vehicle, charging station, vehicle licensing, insurance, and/or wrapping. The application for the $10,000 standalone grant is currently open until November 14th, 2023. Startup and existing business owners are invited to apply. Our Food Security Initiative. Our partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources continues to flourish. We're launching the second Food Sustainability Grant with a strong focus on stimulating farmers and fishermen throughout the country. This initiative aligns closely with our broader vision, especially in the blue economy sector, where it will further enhance food security in the Bahamas by providing easier access to locally grown and produced food. This grant program will launch this month. Our Blue Economy Accelerator Program. So in late 2022, we embarked on a transformative partnership with the Nature Conservancy, focused on the blue economy. This initiative is poised to transition from discussion and design ideation to tangible action, with a significant focus on blue economy businesses in 2024. We're thrilled to announce the launch of the Blue Economy Accelerator Program, an undertaking that will elevate our efforts to create more reef-positive businesses in the blue economy sector. The OAR Program. We are thrilled to announce the launch of the 4th cohort of the OAR, which is the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs Program, in partnership with the U.S. Embassy. In an exciting new development, this particular program, which has been empowering women since its inception in 2020, will focus solely on the vibrant island of Grand Bahama. The program is set to commence in January 2024, offering an incredible opportunity for women entrepreneurs to build and expand their businesses. So we're also focused on SBDC, and so SBDC's FinTech platform. In a world where technology is shaping our every move, we at SBDC are also adapting to stay ahead, ensuring that our operations are not just efficient, but also seamless. This platform is set to revolutionize our approach by digitizing the manual processes that we have served as our backbone. From tracking client applications, submitting funding requests, to collecting vital economic impact data, everything is getting a digital makeover at SBDC. Our commitment to continuous improvement has led us to this pivotal moment where technology meets human ingenuity, promising a future of strategic, streamlined, and sustainable growth. But we won't stop there. Our e-commerce platform. We are committed to revolutionizing the way businesses operate in the digital realm. Our national e-commerce platform is a game changer, enabling MSMEs to expand their customer base both locally and internationally without the usual high costs associated with website development and online payment processing. The platform will not only provide vendors with additional purchasing options, but also offer an opportunity to grow their customer base by being part of a platform that will be promoted to locals, visitors, and SBDC partner agencies. We're genuinely excited about these digitized rollouts and programmatic interventions, marking a pivotal moment in our commitment to champion entrepreneurship in the Bahamas. In conclusion, these initiatives underscore our dedication to fostering entrepreneurship, economic growth, and community development in the Bahamas. The SBDC will continue to play its role in making this vision a reality. We look forward to these programs making a positive impact on our nation, and we invite you to stay tuned for further developments as we continue to drive innovation and progress. Thank you for your attention, and I'm available for questions.
Good day. Would you have the numbers as to how many businesses you funded for this year?
For this year, we've funded approximately 200 businesses this year, in the tune of about $7.5 million just for this year alone.
Would you be able to say if there's like a trend of any particular business seeking the funding or anything like that? Any trends that you guys have noticed?
A number of industries that have popped up for us is around the agriculture, fashion, tourism space. So those are some of the key. If I was to give you a list of our top industries, it's medical, education, agriculture, fashion, fishing, tourism, transportation, food and beverage.
Is the 200 businesses, is that an uptick, is that, and also I guess what kind of sign does this give you in terms of where the country is going?
It gives us a positive sign because it is an uptick. And so as I would have mentioned before, just in one of our programs alone, in 2023, we would have surpassed what SBDC did in 3 years.
You mentioned the collaboration with the U.S. Embassy for the OAR program that's going to focus specifically on Grand Bahama. Any reason why that specific focus? I mean, I know Grand Bahama continues to rebound following, the hurricanes and the pandemic.
Yes.
But any particular reason why? And is there a specific focus that you will be looking towards when you focus on Grand Bahama?
Yeah. So what SBDC has done is that we collect data through our economic impact surveys, and throughout our programs, we collect the data to understand the needs, to understand who and where they are approved for funding. And, one of the, if I may call it, pain points is that it's been so much Nassau, New Providence centric. And so we've made an intentional focus on family islands and family island development. And so the specific program, the OAR program that you mentioned, the prior years have been open across our archipelago. For this, we specifically submitted a grant for Grand Bahama and a focus on Grand Bahama as one of those strategic islands that require additional support.
Are there further questions?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rowe. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, at this point, if there are any questions for the administration, I will take them now.
Just one question. Does the government have a comment to Sam Bankman-Fried's recent guilty verdict, being found guilty on the fraud charges?
Well, the United States, like the Bahamas, is a country of laws. Mr. Bankman-Fried faced trial based on the crimes that he's now been convicted of, The Bahamas has from time to time collaborated and cooperated with the United States when it comes to suspects who, where, the interests of the United States and the Bahamas cross paths, and will continue to do that. But he's being held accountable for the crimes that he's been convicted of in accordance with the laws of the United States.
Is there a concern that this may reflect negatively on the administration, considering, I know recently there's been some revelation in terms of him meeting with the Prime Minister's son and some other things about game tickets, and also just, I guess, the relationship between, that it seemed he would have had with the current administration. Is there any concern from the Prime Minister, I guess, that this could negatively have a negative reflection on his government?
Well, the office has responded to that, and I will continue to stand on that statement. I don't have anything further, but I will say that fortunately, and because the administration was prudent, there were laws in place to guide the financial services industry and the fintech industry, which safeguarded us at the end of the day. So the administration is happy that those things were in place. We were able to jump into action very swiftly with the liquidation process so that the image of the financial services industry could remain whole.
So you feel as though the image of you said the financial services in the country as large remains intact?
Yes. Further questions?
Yeah.
Berthany.
In the blueprint, not the blueprint, but in the speech from the throne, the first speech from the throne mentioned anti-corruption legislation. This speech from the throne did not make mention of that. Is that still something that the government is looking to do in their term of office? I know the blueprint for change spoke to it being done in the first 100 days in office. That didn't happen. Is that still one on the agenda?
Yes, the administration remains committed to that. It absolutely is a priority. And that legislation, as you may know, will include, that package of legislation, ombudsman legislation, a new code of conduct for public servants, updated public disclosure legislation, and comprehensive whistleblowing legislation, because the administration is committed to ensuring the integrity of public service and ensuring that public trust remains.
Any idea when we could see a movement on that?
I couldn't put a timeline on it other than to say the proposed bills are consistently being worked on.
I think the Shantytown evacuations are movements are taking place. Can you speak to, I guess, the importance of that and what the government hopes to accomplish? I know there was, I guess, one of the humanitarian agencies issued a statement last night speaking to the concerns in terms of the displaced persons and what that represents for the country. Any comment on that?
Well, obviously, this Shantytown issue has been with us for a long time. It has implications for how housing is developed in the country. It has implications for health. It has implications for safety. All of these are things that the government wants to ensure remain whole in the interest of every citizen of the Bahamas. This week we saw a movement toward the demolition of shantytowns. It's the beginning of what will be a very complex process to ensure that Bahamians everywhere feel confident that the laws of the Bahamas are being covered. We expect those demolitions, as you know, to begin on Monday. From time to time, the courts have had to intervene, but at the point where any submissions are exhausted, the government is ready to go ahead with that and ensure that all of the laws of the Bahamas regarding housing are followed.
And any, I guess, additional movements as it relates to lowering the cost of living, like this in energy reform or any other sectors, because that obviously remains a major concern for many residents and, as Mrs. Sands mentioned, businesses as well.
Yes, of course, energy reform is huge. It remains perhaps at the very top of the Davis administration's agenda. We would have heard this week from the minister with responsibility for energy interventions that will be made regarding solar, LNG, the use of those sources as we seek to get the cost of energy down in the Bahamas. But otherwise, the government has already moved on things like customs duties, lowering them, negotiations with shipping companies to lower the cost of shipping. This week we saw a consumer protection bill introduced, debated, and passed in the House of Assembly. All of that is with a view to making sure that consumers get a break. Obviously, anyone who gets a BPL bill every month feels the pinch of the cost of energy, and the government is working assiduously to bring that down.
As you know, yesterday, NIB workers held a strike vote, and in an interview with the president of that union, Ms. Vanderpool, said that, well, a few years ago, they had some issues with an HR lady in their department, and she was taken off of that position. She said that when the Davis administration came back into office, she was brought back and given a higher position. She said that this was blatant disrespect towards the union. Do you have any response to that?
I unfortunately don't have specifics on that, but where there are concerns and issues in the Labor Department, the administration is open to discussions to resolve them.
Do you have the cost for the government's trip to the King's coronation and the Mr. Independence celebration?
I'm sorry, Berthany, I don't have an update since we last spoke about it. Any further questions? All right, thank you very much. Now we see these beautiful displays of food over here as I ask our first vendor to come forward so that you can tell us about your business, what we will get to sample today, and how prospective customers can reach you.
Good day. My name is Deidre Stubbs, and I'm the owner and pastry chef of The Sweet Machine. From 2015 to now, The Sweet Machine has grown greatly in clientele and business. The Sweet Machine is a home-based business in which I run and maintain a second job as well. Each and every Thursday, we host a retail cake sale. The menu changes every week. The menu is posted on our social media platforms. You can reach us on Facebook under The Sweet Machine, Instagram at The Sweet Machine, or message us on WhatsApp on 242-808-6955. I consider stuffed cheesecakes, which I brought today, to be my trademark for my company. I love to take different items and create a new dessert, like the stuffed guava duff cheesecake, which is a boiled guava duff stuffed in our delicious cheesecake and topped with traditional guava duff sauce. Today we have brought some of our crowd favorites for you to sample, like the stuffed guava duff cheesecake, stuffed banana bread, lemon meringue cheesecake, pumpkin roll, carrot cake, and chocolate cake sickles. Thank you for having me, and enjoy.
Okay, I was just searching around the room for our next vendor. So you can come right up and tell us, Chef Reno, about your business and what you have to offer.
Hello, good day everyone. Thanks for having me here today. My name is Chef Rello from Poisson Sushi. Poisson Sushi is a restaurant located in Nassau, Bahamas, now located at the Marathon Mall. We offer a fresh, high quality of sushi and Japanese cuisines, in a modern, upbeat atmosphere. This business was first started in 2017 out of my home, and it quickly became a popular takeout spot, which pushed me to search for a location to put my storefront, where I can provide a full experience of what Poisson Sushi has to provide today. This concept behind Poisson Sushi, I bring to you authentic Japanese cuisine with a Bahamian twist. The freshest seafood ingredients of our sushi prepared by experienced chef using traditional techniques. We offer nigiri, sashimi, maki rolls, specialty rolls, and a lot more. We invite you to come and try us and check us out. Thank you, guys.
We have no hesitation with you trying and checking you out. Everything looks good. All right, if there are no further questions, thank you all for coming, and have a great Friday and a great weekend. Thank you.